Real gap that we are struggling with is not necessarily technical, because with the changing landscape, the access to AI, the access to education, courses, certifications, everything that is available at the snap of your fingers. You can have it anytime, anywhere.
Yes.
And you can learn every skill that starts from aptitude, coding, reasoning, any topic that you're interested in. All those you are easily able to learn
Yes.
on the go.
Yeah. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Dexian Talk, an initiative by Dexian India. I'm your host for today, Vasanta. I'm excited to have with me Ms. Paushali Dasgupta, manager at Dexian India, a passionate people and a cultural professional with over 7 years of experience across learning and development. Let's welcome Paushali. Hi Paushali, it's a pleasure to have you at Dexian Talks. Thank you for coming.
Same here, Vasanta. Thank you for having me here at Dexian Talks. It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you. So, Paushali, I'll just directly dive into the questions.
Sure.
I've heard everybody talk about the technical skill gap,
Mm-hmm.
So, coding or,
Right.
aptitude and stuff like that. According to you, what do you think are the real gaps in the organizations that, the organization is struggling today with?
That's a very interesting question. So, the real gap that we are struggling with is not necessarily technical, because with the changing landscape, the access to AI, the access to education, courses, certifications, everything that is available at the snap of your fingers. You can have it anytime, anywhere.
Yes.
And you can learn every skill that starts from aptitude, coding, reasoning, any topic that you're interested in. All those you are easily able to learn
Yes.
on the go.
Yeah.
But when we talk of the softer aspects, which is more required in an organization, skills like adaptability, collaboration, the ability to unlearn,
Yeah.
work in ambiguity, work in situation where you do not have the perfect answer or a perfect roadmap. I think that is a skill that we are all looking for. Ability to improvise on the go, ability to adapt to situations as they come.
Yes.
I think that's a skill that we are looking at more
Correct.
than we are looking at the hard skills.
Okay, interesting. Which leads me to my next question. What do you think? The graduates now are experiencing a transition shock. So, what do you think is so different when they come to corporate after having perfect grades academically?
I think the identity changes.
Identity changes.
Yes. One day you are actually paying your fees to be a part of an ecosystem that is your college.
Yeah.
To the next, where someone else is paying you to be a part of an ecosystem.
Right.
So when you are in college, you are expected to go to your classes, learn from professors, submit your assignments on time, write the perfect answers in your answer sheet, come out with flying
Colors.
colors.
Yeah.
But when you are there in an office setup, you do not have a syllabus.
Right.
You do not have a fixed set of competencies that we are looking at.
Correct.
We are not giving you a JD that is a perfect, which encompasses your day-to-day responsibilities perfectly.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
JD is fluid.
Yes.
In today's world, it keeps changing every day.
Exactly.
If I tell you about my example, when I started out first, I am actually a marketing graduate.
Oh.
So when I started out, my first interview that I sat for was an opportunity which was in sales. And for me, it made so much sense back then that I'm studying marketing and
Yeah.
I'll progress into a role that is in sales.
Yeah.
And when I sat down for the interview, everything went well. I got an offer. And I think 6 months down the line, when I reached the organization, I was told, oh, we've hired you for sure,
Yeah.
but not for marketing.
Oh.
You're getting into learning and development.
Okay.
So I got into learning and development like that, without a degree in HR,
Yeah.
for that matter.
Yeah.
And when I went onto the floor and I was talking to people, I was delivering sessions.
Yeah.
It had got nothing to do with my degree,
Right.
9 marks. Nobody even bothered asking me what your major is. Nobody even bothered asking me, do you even have a minor in HR?
Yeah. No.
No, nothing at all. And for the longest time, I did not have a degree in HR.
Oh, yeah, of course. You were doing marketing.
Yes, I thought I would be doing marketing.
Exactly.
But I think life had other plans.
Yeah.
And so, what I'm trying to put forth through this example is I was not really hired for my degree or my expertise in a certain subject. I think I was hired for something else that
Right.
the interviews in that room saw.
Right.
So when you are talking about a transition from campus to corporate,
Yeah.
when you are in campus, you know, when you are going in for a session in marketing,
Yeah.
you are going to study marketing that day.
Yes.
When you're going in for a session in analytics,
yeah.
you're going to study analytics that day.
Yeah.
But when you come to corporate, every day you walk into the organization, your office,
Yeah.
you open your laptop, and
Yeah.
a new set of work crops up.
Exactly.
Some that you might have done before, some you may not have done before.
Yeah.
So what you need here is the ability to adapt, ability to unlearn, relearn,
Again.
work
Yes.
in ambiguity,
Yeah.
collaborate, learn even when you do not have a perfect structure in place. So when you come from a college environment and continue to behave that way in corporates,
Yeah.
I think that's where the challenge rises.
Right.
College, it's okay if you're late to work for 5 minutes.
Work, you can't be late.
Work, you can't be late.
Yeah.
And especially in our division where we are very particular about the time, you can't be.
No.
So I think that's a huge cultural shift, identity shift that happens when a person steps in from a corporate to a campus.
Right. So, what would be the definition for somebody who's in college and for somebody who's in corporate?
For somebody who is in college, it's the perfect grade.
Uh-huh.
How well behaved you are, how nicely you are turning up for your classes,
Yeah.
how attentive you are. Are you a backbencher or not?
Yes.
Well, I was. But in corporate, I don't think any of it counts. Nobody has
Yeah.
asked me my marks. I thought when I got good marks in school, I thought it would be an accolade for all my life. People would keep asking me, "Oh, how much do you score?"
I mean, you want to be on top in college. You also
Yeah.
want to be on top in the corporate also.
Yes.
Then how
but
do you
the definition
still?
changes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to know.
So here I have a syllabus that I have to follow.
Yes.
I know that I have 5 books, 5 chapters, and I know if I know these, I'm well equipped to answer questions that are going to come my way.
Yeah.
But in corporate, how do you do that?
Exactly.
So you don't have answers, you don't have questions,
Yeah.
you have situations that come to you.
Right.
And your ability to handle those situations in that moment
Yes.
without counting on 10 others
Yeah.
to find a solution, problem solving attitude, the ability to resolve conflicts, the ability to take feedback. School, colleges, you don't really get feedback.
Yeah.
What is the maximum feedback you would have got in school or college?
I mean, you're doing great. Just
Doing
improve
great.
more.
A plus,
need-
B plus?
Yeah, you need to improve here and there.
Yeah, that's about
Come
it.
on time. That's
Yeah.
all.
And then when it's coming to you from a teacher,
Yeah.
who you know is a figure of authority,
Yeah.
you are, I think, more okay to take that.
Exactly.
When you come to an office, we both might be at the same designation,
Yes.
same position.
Yeah.
But I've joined the organization 6 months before you. So I know few things a little better than you.
Correct.
And if I tell you that, hey, you might want to do this
Yeah.
in this way, this may not sit very well with you.
Exactly.
So the ability to take feedback and implement it in a positive manner is a very important skill, I think.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think people have that in corporate. It's not easy to take a feedback. It's more like
we get defensive.
Yeah, we get defensive.
Or start giving out our point of views that
Exactly.
I did this because of this. You
Yeah.
told me this that day, so I'm doing this now.
Right. I
So-
like the perspective. It's very
Yeah.
interesting that you brought this up. So, Pashali, going to my next question, what are some of the hidden competencies that the employers value today, but the candidates rarely take it seriously?
Very interesting. What were you taught in college or school? Do you remember?
No. Honestly, no.
No. But when you come to work,
Yeah.
What are some of the basics you do?
Basics that I do.
You get up in the morning,
Yeah.
you groom yourself in a certain way,
Yes.
turn up to office in a certain way,
Right.
not in your sandals or your Crocs.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you come to work on time,
Yeah.
you open your laptop,
Correct.
understand where your priorities are,
Yeah.
and then start accordingly.
Yeah.
Any of it were you taught in school or college?
No.
I think that's where the answer lies. We are taught to memorize, we are taught to go through subjects without understanding the practical implication of it in most cases. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know about the education system at this point in time,
Yeah.
but back when I was in school or college, trust me, practical was just a time that we had for having fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
Chemistry labs, you would go mix random stuff, but I really don't know why I was mixing those acids.
Right.
I don't know what would be the outcome
Yes.
of it. No
Yeah.
one told me that.
Right.
I didn't know. I mean,
Yeah.
so as an employer, I think I would value certain qualities, especially if I'm talking to you from a fresher's perspective. Since and I'm bringing up this perspective because in the consulting division at Dexian, we have a lot of freshers
Right.
who are stepping into the organization right after finishing their college.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when they come in, we see that they are not able to blend in, and
Oh.
we are not able to understand what they need.
Correct.
They are coming in at their own free will, not turning up to work without informing. School, if you don't go, you don't inform.
Exactly.
The next day when you go to school, you write a letter from your
Exactly.
mother or your father,
Yeah.
and more often than not, write the letter yourself, forge the signature yourself,
Yeah.
take it.
Exactly.
But in corporate, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You are supposed to inform before you take the leave.
Exactly.
So, as an employer, I think we value, as much as we talk about authenticity and transparency and authenticity also comes with the kind of
Responsibility.
responsibility
Yeah.
the individual carries into the room.
Yes.
So, if I'm given a certain set of freedom and I do not know how to use it right,
Correct.
I don't think that's heading in the right direction.
Correct.
So, when they first come to an organization, they taste their first freedom.
Yeah.
They have access to adult money. More often than not, they are staying outside their houses.
Yes.
No parental supervision anymore. No hostel warden supervising them anymore. So, you're basically an adult
Yeah.
who has not been taught how to transition into adulthood.
Correct.
So, now your expectations are still that of a college.
Right.
But you are operating in an adult world,
Yeah.
wherein a lot of accountability, ownership, responsibilities have been placed on you.
Yes.
So, without that supervision, you are not able to follow through on those.
It gets hard.
It gets hard.
Yeah.
You do not send in reports unless reminded twice.
Exactly.
6 o'clock, the deadline was, and you are sending in the report at 6:15. To you, it's a delay of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But here, you cannot go and ask for extensions.
Correct.
Every day, at least, you can't. Some days, you of course can.
Yeah.
But not every day. So, as an employer, we look at candidates who come in with a high degree of accountability,
Correct.
ability to handle themselves in a certain way,
Yeah.
their ability to collaborate,
Right.
how well they are able to blend in,
Right.
how well they are able to work in situations that does not have a perfect prescribed situation.
Yeah.
How well they are handling situations,
Correct.
handling conflicts,
Yeah.
resolving conflicts.
Also, I think in corporate, they're answerable to, let's say, the managers,
Yes.
the team leads, or the
Yes.
clients, at the end of the day,
Yes.
which was not there before when they were in
Yeah.
college.
So if you miss a deadline, what happens?
Yeah.
You lose out on marks.
No, not in corporate.
But in corporate, what happens when you miss a
You
deadline?
can lose your job.
You lose your
For
you
sure.
can lose your job. And
Eventually, yes.
in a high pressure environment like us,
Yeah.
where we are trying to fill positions,
Yes.
and speed is the game.
Yeah.
If you're falling back on your speed, if you're falling back on the kind of accountability
You're not the part
and
of the
ownership,
race now.
you're not a part of the race anymore.
Yeah.
So I think these are some skills that we actively look for,
Right.
but unfortunately we are not able to find it
Find
more
it.
often than not. I will not say it does not exist. It does, but it requires a lot of grooming before it actually shows.
Right. So you face challenges when you are, let's say, interviewing and trying to find the right person?
Yes.
Or do you find them and then put your effort in grooming them?
See, we can groom to a certain level,
Right.
from a certain level.
Right. So, Paushali, till now we were talking about how it is difficult for you to find good freshers, or to how to groom them, or the difficulties that you face, the challenges. But tell me, how much of a responsibility is it on the organization to provide them the environment where they can grow, they can survive, and have an impactful impact on the organization?
This is a very interesting question,
Yeah.
because it focuses on both sides of the coin.
Correct.
While so far we've been trashing how unprofessional and how much they don't know,
Yes.
I think it's also time to talk about how we as organizations can step up
Correct.
and support the current workforce.
Yes.
Because all the people who are coming in now will be freshers and are by default Gen Zs at this point in
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
So as an organization, I think a lot of responsibility, the onus is on us
Yeah.
about how we want to shape up the leaders of tomorrow. So when I talk of this, when a candidate comes in, when an employee joins the organization, he or she walks in with a lot of excitement
Right.
and dreams for the future.
Yes.
And I think it's important to tap into that. And when we are hiring, as I already said, that we don't really focus on how much marks you had in your 10th, 12th, graduation. That's not where our focus lies.
Yeah.
We are focusing completely on how well you're able to navigate the interview for starters. That becomes our first point of decision making when we are
Right.
hiring.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised to know it's often these people who are not very academically inclined,
Yeah.
or these people who have not been brilliant students in college.
Correct.
When they come and they start working with us, they do so well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they've always known that they're not doing well
Okay.
in their studies or their
Studies.
school.
Yeah.
But when they come in here, they actually do so much better. They do it so well because they are ready to put in the right amount of effort. So,
Right.
how we can step up as organizations to support their growth is by transitioning them instead of giving them a culture shock.
Right.
In college, what is glorified is hard work,
Right.
but in organizations, what is glorified?
Smart work.
Smart work.
Yeah.
I remember reading this interview, I think it was by Mr. Bill Gates, where he said that I do not hire the smartest,
Yeah.
but I hire the laziest.
Correct.
Because the laziest will always find the
Most creative way to do it.
and smartest
Smart.
and fastest way to do it.
Correct.
So why do I need someone to do a job diligently, follow everything to the T,
Yeah.
and do it in 5 hours, as opposed to someone who will be creative,
Right.
will be ingenuine about it, which is also one of our core values, by the
Right.
way,
Yeah.
and do the job in 2 hours.
Exactly.
Because in organizations, what is measured is effectiveness.
Right.
What we don't measure you by marks.
Exactly.
So once they're in the organization, the story where we transition them gradually into the floor is very important.
Yeah.
When they start off with us, for good 1.5 months, they're just trained,
Yes.
which also includes training about a whole part,
Correct.
which is about corporate readiness.
Yes.
Where when we talk to them about how to write emails,
Right.
you cannot write, hey, why are you late
Yeah.
on an email.
Of course.
You cannot use WhatsApp chats or GIFs in
Yeah.
an email.
Yeah.
We teach them everything step by step, and gradually we scale that up.
Right.
From day one, it is never about numbers.
Yes.
It's never about the productivity that they are bringing to the table. It is
Yeah.
never about the submissions or the interviews or the hires they are making.
Right.
I think for first 6 months to 12 months, we don't even look at that.
Right.
We transition.
Yeah.
We tell them that, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do.
Correct.
We show them.
Yeah.
It's a whole learning experience.
Right.
The pressure is not to get hires in
Yes.
those first couple of months.
Yeah.
The focus is completely on training them to be more corporate ready.
Correct.
It starts from writing emails
Yeah.
to teaching them how to source, how to interview,
Yeah.
how to prep, how to screen,
Right.
all of this.
Yeah.
Writing Boolean strings.
So you're not
everything is
expecting
taught.
them to bring in the money, but actually training them as to how they
Yes.
can do it tomorrow
Yes.
in any organization, let's
Correct.
say. Yeah.
Correct. So I think the first 12 months we're not looking at numbers from them that
Yes.
much. We are focusing on how well they are learning the process. And I mean, Vishal always stresses on that. Follow the process, results will follow.
Right.
And he's very stringent about the process that we have.
Yeah.
They are taught about the process during their induction, about how they have to source, when they have to call, how they have to send in the emails.
Yeah.
Everything is given to them in a package.
Correct.
Now, you might ask me that if everything is given in a package,
Yeah.
where is the scope for creativity?
Exactly.
The creativity does not come in the process bit, but the creativity comes in how you do it.
Right.
You know you have to go from point A to B.
Yeah. How do you go from there?
That
A to
is
B.
your decision. That's
Yes.
where your creativity, your ingenuity, your knowledge comes into the picture.
Right.
That we never dictate.
Right.
So this current generation, or in fact, I think gradually the times are changing, and we all want certain autonomy at work. We want certain kind of freedom at work, freedom
Correct.
to make certain decisions
Yeah.
at work. And I think it is about empowering those employees,
Right.
those freshers who are fresh out of college, letting them know that they belong. And that cannot be done if we are constantly dictating
Correct.
how they have to
Yeah.
do things.
Right. So you're giving them the space to
Make
make
their
a
own
mistake,
mistakes.
learn from it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So far, we were talking about the freshers in corporate
Okay.
and how they adjust and transition, right? So now I would like to get into the GCC topic because that's very important for Dexian. So give me your perspective on how people development and learning framework strengthen the customer delivery in GCC, of course.
So, delivery is powered by people, right?
Yes.
However, we talk about processes, optimization, all of it. But the delivery is ultimately powered by people.
Right.
And people operate from a place of readiness.
Correct.
So, when we talk from a place of being ready, that's where learning frameworks come into the picture.
Right.
Learning frameworks create a future friendly organization. They help create a workforce that is ready to adapt to all future needs.
Right. So, Pashali, tell me, how is Dexian making room for the young professionals?
Okay. I think we are trying to create an environment that is psychologically safe. And psychological safety is something that we value a lot. The current generation values a lot. So, with the current generation, if you see, a lot of their basic needs are taken care of.
Right.
And that you can owe it to a change in the disposable income, access to education, better facilities. You can owe it to a lot of that.
Yeah.
But in an organization, when they step in, what is important is that they feel safe, they feel secure, they feel okay to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Because if we do not have that space of psychological safety,
Right.
employees will be fearful about asking questions.
Right.
If they don't ask questions, they don't learn.
Yes.
Every feedback session will be met with resistance.
Right.
And when they stop asking questions and they resist every learning that comes their way,
Yeah.
you are not building,
You're not growing, basically.
you're not growing,
Right.
and you are not incorporating elements of being resilient, being adaptable,
Yeah.
or being a person who can ask questions and do the job in a better way.
Right.
It's only when you feel safe enough to ask a question,
Yeah.
or you know that your question will not be met with a repercussion or will not be met with a reaction,
Yeah.
will you ask questions?
Right.
And the scope of error also reduces.
Yeah.
When I suppose I come to you and ask you a question 5 times, and I know that you will not snap, so I will keep asking you that question unless and until I feel I am confident about it.
Yeah.
So there's no pressure for you to say, yes, I've understood, even when you have not.
Correct.
So that ensures that the person has actually understood the whole essence, the whole problem, and the solution before they get down to the floor and start working.
Right.
So when I talk to you about the whole training program and how they spend a lot of time with us before they are actually expected to be productive, we are aiming at creating a safe space for them where they know that they are allowed to make mistakes, that they are allowed to ask questions. We are not bound by hierarchy. I mean, if you walk into our office, it will feel more like a friendly space than a office that is bound by rules, regulations, and guidelines. I mean,
Right.
I'm not saying we don't have rules and regulations. We have those
Yes,
pretty
yes.
firmly set.
Yeah.
But you can, if you want to walk into Vishal's cabin and talk to him about something, he's always available.
The door's always open.
The door's always open. I
Yeah.
think we practice open door policy very true to its name.
Okay.
You can see Swati, Gaurav, everybody on the floor, ready to answer your questions, ready to help you out, ready
Yeah.
to talk to you, take you through this, difficult situations,
Right.
all of it.
Yeah.
So I think the aim here is to create a space where we can groom
Yes.
young budding professionals
Right.
into future leaders.
Yes.
So the element of psychological safety is something that is kept at the center of it.
Right. It's also very important from the sound of it.
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
It is.
It is because the people these days, they value authenticity, they value transparency, they value the they place a lot of value on the fact that they can do what they want to do,
Right.
yet do something that is meaningful,
Yeah.
which is why you have these people who are working with us who are all BTech graduates. They've actually done their engineering from good engineering colleges and they've decided to, turn to recruitment. Why do you think they would do that? I
Correct.
mean, never in their 4 years would they have thought that I want to become a recruiter.
Yeah. That was really interesting, Paushali. Coming
Thank
to
you.
the last segment now, that
Okay.
before I let you go, there's this question that I ask most of my guests. You have worked mostly with you work closely with the people development and the organizational growth, right? So what kind of leadership has influenced you the most? What is that one quality or a lesson that you've learned from the leaders and it stayed with you till now?
Okay, so I think it's the ability to see a person beyond what their resume says. So I think I want to bring in a small story here.
Yeah.
I have worked with Dexian back in the past when it was known as DICES in 2021.
Okay.
This is where I learned recruitment. And last, I think 2024, I got a call that, do you want to come back? I was like, yeah, sure. And then I asked, but what will I do?
Yeah.
And Vishal told me, you come and we'll figure it out. You have your learning and development space, and I have the internal recruitment. Why don't you start with that? And trust me, when I came in, I started doing a lot more than what I was doing on papers back then.
Okay.
So what it taught me was, as a leader, I think he had the ability to see much beyond what my resume spoke of, or the potential. So I think it's largely coaching style, human-centric leadership that I believe in. So when
Yeah.
I work with Vishal, I know I have the permission to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And all I have to, if I do make a mistake, all I have to do is go to him and tell him that, hey, you know what, I've done a mistake.
Right.
And I know that I'll never be, scolded for it. I'll
Right.
never be bashed for it.
Yeah.
He'll tell me how to do it better the next time, and
Yeah.
he'll ask me what my lessons are.
Right.
So I think that is deeply pivoted in the coaching style of leadership.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great path to follow, especially in a time where we are talking about autonomy so much.
Right. I mean, sometime back you were talking about giving space to make the mistake.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I think I've learned it from him.
Right.
I remember once, I think it was a payroll thing, and I did a mistake.
Yeah.
And I just walked up to him, and it was a big one because some employee had exited and some payments had not been done.
Okay.
And all he told me was, okay, first let's focus on fixing it,
Yeah.
and then let's see what our learnings are out of this.
Right.
I don't remember him getting angry or, scolding me or, even talking about that ever
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. That's lovely.
So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a very interesting leadership style that
It
I have
is.
learned from Vishal.
It is definitely interesting, and that's lovely also. On the same note, there's a small surprise from Vishal through a message.
all
So
right.
I just would like to play it for you. Can we just hear it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Paushali joined Dexian in the initial phase of opening the Pune office, and I'm talking about 2021 or 2, I'm not sure. But she was one of the recruiter that we have hired while we were actually starting our journey in India market. And I think that was the time where she uh, let us feel that she is not just made for recruitment, but she has abilities and capabilities to do much more. She left us due to unfortunate situations. But I think after a couple of years, she transitioned her into a complete different skill set. And when I contacted her again, I think 1.5 years before, uh, I was looking for somebody who can help me in that area that she has worked. She has started working on that skill set, and I feel that is exactly where she fitted the requirement that we were having, and it was just a, I will say, a 5 minutes conversation, and she already trusted us. She came back to us. She joined us, and she has been an asset since then. So thank you so much, Paushali, for everything that you have done for us. Keep working, keep motivating yourself and your team, and I'm sure that we have a long way to go. Thanks, Paushali.
So, what do you feel?
I mean, he's not a man of words,
Yeah.
but I'm just glad to know that I've been able to, meet some of his expectations at least.
That sounded very sweet, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the phase that I spoke about, that I was here. And I think even then, he did trust me with a lot. So I'm just happy to be back and I'm grateful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of Dexian Talks.
Thank you so
It was a
much.
pleasure talking to you.
Same here. Thank you so much.
That was a lovely conversation with Paushali. Paushali's insights on the real skill gap, the hidden competencies young professionals play, and the roles organizations are playing are really truly valuable. Thank you all for watching us. We will see you in another episode of Dexian Talks next week. Have a good night.
We are Dexian, in the business for good.